It is National Serger Month, so let's talk about a few different ways you can use your serger that's not a 4-thread stitch. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today we are going to be talking about a couple different ways you can use your serger to make different stitch types that are not that normal 4-thread overlocking stitch. So as you can see here, I have my 3 threads set up, and we are going to be talking about how you can use your serger to really use these 3 threads and to do different methods that you may not be already doing. Now I have a video on how to set up your machine for a 3-thread method, and I will be sure to link that in case you want more information. Now for all of this testing today, I'm going to be using 3 different types of fabric. So the first fabric is going to be this medium weight cotton muslin fabric. We will be using this to show a 3-thread overlock stitch. I also will be using some knit material. So we're going to be using this for our 3-thread overlock stitch as well as a lettuce hem. And then I have some very lightweight material, and this we're going to be using for a narrow rolled hem. So with all of that said, we're going to be starting off with the muslin fabric, and we are going to be doing our 3-thread overlocking stitch. So for all of this, you keep your settings exactly how they would be for your 4-thread stitch essentially. Everything is nice and neat, and we are just going to begin to start to sew. Now the nice part about this 3-thread stitch is it works really well for lightweight to medium weight fabrics. It's a really great way to clean off any of those raw edges and make sure that they are nice and neat. And then in addition, it does save you thread because you're only using 3 spools instead of 4 for this stitch. Now as you can see, this provides a really nice and clean effect on my fabric, but the interesting part is I can use this exact same stitch on my knit material also. So I'm going to be sewing 2 pieces of this knit material together, similar to maybe like if you were doing a cuff, and as we can see, this 3-thread method works really nicely for keeping it nice and clean, but then it also provides my knit with a lot of stretch and flexibility, so I'm still able to get everything that I normally would out of my knit, all using that 3-thread method. So now let's move on to a narrow rolled hem. So we have our 3 threads again, and we need to change some of these settings. So for our needle, we're keeping that the same. For our lower looper, we want this to be a higher number. So we want to make it tighter. I do between an 8 and a 9. For our upper looper, we're going to want to make this to be looser, so a lower number. So I'm going to do between like a 1 and a 2. And then we are going to change this to a rolled hem. So you can see it says N or R. I'm putting it on R for rolled hem. And then on the side, you're going to want to reduce the stitch length to be as small as possible, or very small. And then since this is a rolled hem, we do not want any of that extra fabric to be cut off, so be sure that that setting is turned off. Now I'm going to use my very light material for this, and I am just going to begin sewing. So now with rolled hems, these do use a lot of thread, and you can also get like nylon thread that will actually go in the middle to make this really just kind of stand out more. So as you can see here, we can still see some of that fabric in between the stitches, especially since I did use black thread. There are other ways that you can kind of get around that so you don't have to see it, but if you use the same color thread as your fabric, as you can see here, it gives it a really nice and clean effect. It's very lightweight, so very similar to your fabric. It's not going to be weighing it down, and you've essentially just finished off the edge of this material that can make it look really nice and clean. I absolutely love this for curtains, and I think that this is a great option. Now the fun part about this stitch is we can use the exact same settings on knit material and get a lettuce hem. So what I'm going to be doing is I have my knit material again, and I am just going to begin sewing it using that narrow rolled hem effect. So I'm going to just begin lining all of this up, and I'm just going to do this tiny little edge at first, so you can see that it does start to get this curled effect to it. And I think that this is a really great way that you're able to finish off, you know, like sleeve edges or collars or even the bottom of shirts. So let's go ahead and do a larger piece of the material, and as you can see, we get this really fun wavy effect on the bottom. You get that lettuce hem that you're looking for that can be so fun to have on different pieces of garments, on different bags, really however you would want to use that as it finishes off the fabric. So let's talk about everything we've done today. We did this 3-thread overlocker stitch, perfect for our cotton fabrics, lightweight to medium materials to just finish it off, and it uses less thread. We were also able to use this stitch on knit materials, so this provided a nice way of finishing off the edges of our knit fabrics, as well as providing that structure and some of that flexibility we would expect in our knit materials too. We also talked about a narrow rolled hem, so this is great for very thin fabrics, as well as using it on knits to create a really fun lettuce hem effect. So these are just 2 different stitches that you could try on your serger to provide a lot of different variability and a lot of different techniques for how you want to finish off your fabrics, how you want to use your fabrics, and in a sense how you could actually use less thread if you were using that 3-thread overlock stitch to finish off the edges of some of your cotton material. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and happy National Serger Month!